Sowash, jazz pianist and educator, and in this live session I'll be sharing tips about how to host a holiday sing-along, from nudging reluctant guests to participate to accompanying Christmas carols using lead sheets or chord charts, and what styles you might use for that. So let's just start with a touch of music just to get us in the mood. We're going to cover why you would do it, what you would need to do it, how do you get started, what to do while you're playing, what to expect when you do it, what to deal with during it, and then how to wrap it up. So why might you host a holiday sing-along? And I just gave it away because it's traditional. And it's part of those beloved traditions that go on from generation to generation, from top-hatted carolers to the Victorian parlor scene. And it's just nice to have yet another element to your holiday celebrations. Now, incredibly, while I sat down this morning and read my news feed, I found in The Guardian a story today about the effects of group singing. And I just want to quote one of the little bits from it, because this is really the why. If you think about why you would go through the bother to do this effort for your loved ones. Here's what it said. Singing is one of the mega mechanisms we use for bonding, said by important person. Robin Dunbar, professor of evolutionary psychology at the University of Oxford, credentials. Anyway, she says, singing in the shower gives you a bit of an uplift, but when doing it communally, there's something about the synchrony of singing that creates a massive endorphin uplift. And later, she says, it's the ultimate icebreaker. So if you think about it, you're giving your guests an opportunity to bond more, to draw those family and friend ties closer together, and you're kind of giving them a mental health boost. And so that is a real gift, even if we can't unwrap it. If you agree with me that that's the why, and that surely you do because you're here, let's get to what you would need. Just do very practical, quick tips on this. Probably some of you already do this, and congratulations to you. Maybe there's a tip here to help you do it better, and maybe there's just enough of a prod for those of you who have been on the fence about it. So here's your list of what you're going to need. Just to say the obvious, you're going to need a piano, and I don't bring a fancy one, I don't worry about it. I bring this really lightweight one. I think this is Yamaha. They have like 61 keys or 63 key ones. This one's like, I don't know, 76 or something. I only play the middle of it. So I just carry it because it's light. I can pick it up with one hand. And you notice it comes complete with note names for my granddaughter. C is cow, dog, elephant, fox, giraffe, ape, bear, cow. So you're going to need a lightweight keyboard. You can set it on a table or something. You don't need your big stand. You don't need to go get all performance anxious about it. You can even get away with no pedal. This one has built-in speakers, which is even better. I don't have to drag along an amplifier. The second thing you're going to need, and this is optional, is a bunch of unbreakable instruments. So I'm always on the lookout for instruments that not unbreakable, but instruments I don't care about is the better way to say it, because they will break. And so, these are the kind of things you'll find in a general music classroom. Tambourine note that it's already broken from past seasons. And, just complete junk. Here's a piece of plastic and plastic maraca. Nothing here that's fancy at all. In some cases, they're a little bit nicer, like I have a decent triangle here, but I think it's indestructible. Here's a recorder that one of our dogs decided to munch on. That moved into the kid pile. You might need those, and I'll show you why in just a minute. The next thing you're going to need is lyric sheets. So everybody kind of knows the first verse and that's it of these. So a number of years ago, like a lot of years ago, like maybe 25 years ago, I printed these up. I just went to the internet and found them. And I don't know if you can tell the size of this font, because the other thing that's gone on as the new generations have come in is my aging cousins are going like this more and more and reading it like that, and their arms aren't long enough. So font size could be a consideration. So we have those, we pass them out every year, and they come back with, figgy pudding all over them and stuff like that. Next thing you're going to need is Christmas fake books. You don't need arrangements and all that stuff written down. This is not a performance. So, you know, I've played out of this one for years. It's all beat up. It's just, I don't know what, I'm not even endorsing it. It's just 150 Christmas songs that I found somewhere. And there's a bunch of them. A few years ago, I bought this Hal Leonard one. It's a little bit thicker, has 275 songs. Not that you're going to sing them all, but sometimes you can find the one that somebody's asked for. So get yourself a fake book, and just, you might already have it. So this fake book, I've lost the cover to a long way back out on the road. And it's all kinds of, you know, pop songs. You can tell when I bought it because here the first page that's still remaining is a tune by Burt Bacharach. And it has like A Taste of Honey and you know, it's kind of out of date, the Carpenters and stuff like that. But this one has a Christmas section in the back that is separately organized, even though the rest of it is alphabetical. It was nice of them. They say, you know, Christmas is going to all be together, so they put them together. And some other fake books do that too. So maybe you already have it on your shelf, and there's a Christmas section. So check for that. If you want to go a little further with your chords, and these are public domain tunes, I have a little fake book I put together last year. It's kind of popular, called what is it called? Christmas Jazz Fake Book, or actually Christmas Fake Book with Jazz Chords, where I put reasonable jazz chords in, not crazy all the way out there things, to add a little more color to the basic triads. For those of you who might be interested in that. But there it is. They're easy to find. So get yourself a fake book, and let's just review. You need a piano, unbreakable instruments that kids can get their hands on, lyric sheets, and fake books. Let's go on. How are we going to get this thing started? It's like a good joke. What makes somebody tell a good joke, right? A lot of the joke is based on when you tell it. You know, so last night I was at my Irish session with my buds. And they were tipping a few beers. I didn't unleash my jokes for a while until things were warmed up and they were loose. And then the jokes were funny. So it's all about timing. And the time to try a Christmas sing-along at your get-together is after the, let's call them refreshments. It does help to loosen people up a little bit. And after the gifts are open, so they aren't eagerly anticipating the next phase. You see, we've had snacks, you know, spiked or not punch. We've opened a few gift exchange perhaps. And you kind of like, now what, right? And so there's that little leg, and the people are starting to pull their devices out and retreat into their bubbles. That's your cue to launch that Christmas song, right? Because they're not going to want to go home and say, what did I do at the party? I looked at my phone. They actually want to have a good time, but they're so addicted and they get a little shy, and we've all forgotten how to be social because media and everything else. That's part of your job here, is to renew those connections. Here's how you do it. You ease in. You ease in. So people are just talking, yeah, you know, and they're having to hear that hubbub, and just kind of play something nice and out of time. Oh, isn't that nice? Someone else, I've always loved the piano music. And then, you know, the stories will come out. My aunt used to play completely by ear. I don't know how she did, you know. I took piano lessons as a kid, but my teacher was not nice, or I just don't have any musical talent. And all those stories will start coming out. But notice it's just noodly, right? I'm just setting the suggestion that there could be some music coming. Maybe it's a simpler tune. The important thing is that it's a recognizable tune and that it's out of time, because it's just, it's a social lubricant, really. It brings people in. So after you've timed it correctly, you ease in with some free time holiday noodling. As that gets going, you drift into a steady beat. So now I haven't really sung yet. I do have a little foot percussion going, as is my want. You don't need that. And so now there's sort of some toe tapping happening. You see, it's all about easing them in. And then maybe you move into maybe Jingle Bells over the river and through the woods, something like that. And so it's getting that beat, and oh yeah, that one, everybody knows Jingle Bells, and pretty soon it's feeling a little more festive. And then there's the hard part. you're going to start singing yourself, right? So, over the river, it doesn't matter how your voice sounds. To this party we are going to sing. If you want to be silly, and if you're not very good at it, that is even better because it gives license for others. So if you're one of those church choir singers with a perfect tremolo, this is not the time to use it. Over the river and through the woods. Right? That's going to be like, oh, see those trained singers. You want to make it casual and easy and not very good because then they know they can join in. Here's a tip. If you just hate that, you just can't do it, it's too much demand, you're not really all that comfortable with chords and already you can feel your ears turning red and your hair going on because the embarrassment factor is sinking in. Here's your tip. Prearrange an extroverted co-conspirator. That outgoing person or the one who's drank too much or always loves a party or whatever, get them going, come on, sing that with me, and you can set that up. It's just like at a wedding or whatever. It takes those certain people to get on the dance floor, come on, get your back up off the wall. So, okay, so we've got them going now, and we're singing a little bit, and they're easing in. Okay, so now let's get down to what to play. There isn't going to be any surprise here, folks. This is not a jazz deal here. One of the easiest ways to do this is to just play a chunky quarter note. So I might, start it like this. I accidentally stride there. You can play half notes or quarters or mix and match. And that was a mess, and who cares? That's the whole point. And on it goes. So one accompaniment style, and this is mostly to give you permission as a jazz improv specialist to say it's okay to be simple and boring. Bradley says it's okay. I don't have to show my piano degree. So let it. Quarter notes are fine. The go-to is the boom chick, right? The simple boom chick. That stuff's too hard. We're just gonna keep this real simple. C E G C E G. So let's see. What's the chord? Yeah. If you kind of screw the melody up, like I just did a little bit, because I'm playing by ear right here, no one's going to matter. No one's going to. All you need is the first three notes of Frosty the Snowman, the first measure, and off we run. You could also name that boom chick for like popular ones, TV ones. Notice my hand is not jumping all around the piano. I'm keeping life simple because I got half an eye on the crowd and half an eye on my fake book, and then. All right, so the boom chick is really your go-to as it picks up pace. You can sound like the big amazing piano player that's playing the giant stride, but just use two hands and let them cover the melody. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, he was a really good guy. So. Waltzes, you already know about this. It's hardly worth mentioning, but 1, 2, 3, root, chord, chord, root, chord, chord. And if you're capable of all kinds of stylistic flourishes, that's a lot of fun, but it's not necessary. How I might play it if I were kind of showing off or taking a solo or playing a concert or whatever. But the point is to accompany here, so we keep that just to a minimum, or I pull it out when someone's leaning over my shoulder saying, man, you're good, and you show off a little bit. Then the last one I think is important is if you have a strong 12/8 feel. We have this ridiculous thing in our family. Let's see if I can find the music. I have to do it by heart, I guess. And that is Oh Holy Night. For years, we have had a lot of fun turning that into a castrati section where only the men sing it, but we have to sing it in the soprano range. It goes way beyond what we're capable of, and then it just has people falling on the floor holding their ribs. It's one of the highest points of our party. The point is, if you have a tune like that, it has a strong compound meter, you're going to want to bring that out. So we hear those subdivisions. It doesn't really matter what the notes are as long as it's a broken chord. Let me give you a couple of tips on how to navigate the lead sheets. You know, hymns have lots of chords. I'm just looking to see if I have one. Here's Deck the Hall. I'm going to play the chords on my lead sheet right here. I'm in E flat. I'm going to play what it actually shows here. Okay, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chords in the first 4 measures. You reduce that. It's just a big old E flat chord. Here's the 5 chord. So you don't have to play all those chords. If it's all loaded up, just grab the landmarks or the beginning of phrases and the obvious changes. Fake books are meant to be interpreted. They're meant to be messed with. This is not anything that special. So you have license to go with it. You got to do your introductions. Here's my tips on introductions. Some of them have them built in. In fact, this would be a good one to do that first noodling on. You know, it's already there. So the introduction, you just play what's there. The other thing you do is just play the last 4 measures. Get off the red nose, whatever. And so that's a good way to start it. Remember, the purpose of the introduction is just a quick way to set the key and to get the tempo going, and just enables people to join in. And the outros are almost unnecessary. Short and corny works good. Ha 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 ha. Next, let me tell you about what to expect, what's going to happen. You're going to experience reticence at first. People are going to do the usual thing with singing. I've never been able to sing. I have a tin ear. I was never good at music. And they may transfer that to you. Oh, shut up, Bradley. And, you sound horrible. And that is probably good-natured. And, of course, it's driven by the perfect recorded music world we live in. And so remember that we are reviving a tradition of ordinary people playing ordinary music. So just smile and let it go. Keep prodding. Don't stop. Keep pushing. Expect timidity, but it will grow. It will become more robust. It just will. It's just like a dance floor. You just keep at it, and what will happen is the devices will come out again. Only this time is to record the precious memories, because now you've got them. When the devices come out and the videos start going, you know you got them. You are making a memory they're going to take home. Okay, got 2 more quick sections to hit here. When you're in the midst of this, when you're at it, you're going to designate a helper to signal how many verses to play. This is the same instigator that got them singing. My wife does it. It's very helpful because I don't remember how many verses are on the lyric sheet. And there's also a person who has, let's call it social awareness. There's a little moment where even if there are 5 verses to, Oh Holy Night, 1 or 2 is not enough, and they can help you feel that, because when you're at the piano, you're busy focusing on what you're playing, and my wife will kind of say, okay, let's wrap that one up. And kind of just keep a tone of not only a song by song about when it should conclude, but also when the whole sing-along should conclude. Just kind of, it's hard for me at least to read the social cues while I'm playing. So let somebody else do that. And then ask your guests for the next selection. Since Christmas fake books are alphabetical, you see, you're trying to hand it over to them. You're just there to accompany. You don't want to be in charge of it. So, hey, what else should we sing? Let's do, my favorite, whatever they yell out. Here's a tip. We are music teachers in many cases. We've been directors. We've led rehearsals. This is not the time for that. Don't direct. Don't fix. Sometimes you have well-meaning helpers that know a little bit about music, and they'll come up and say, the piano's a little too loud, or whatever. It's just smile. This is for fun, right? So just drop all your perfection and avoid trying to get people to sound better. What you do is just make them back off and get scared, and they'll remember all the times their feathers were tarred or their tails were burnt by previous musical education experiences. So forget that. Now, the instruments. The key with the instruments is to hide them. Keep them out of the kids' sight. Keep them away, or else they'll get into it and it'll spoil the effect. Even the piano, I put a sheet over it. Just keep it a little bit more of a surprise. And when the instruments come out, they haven't been hearing them for an hour, because once they come out, it's complete cacophony to the end. It absolutely is just a noisy wreck. The tune we like to do it is on the 12 Days of Christmas, and we just count off one, year 1, year 2, year 3. And when you sing, when it comes to your part, you play your instrument. 5 golden rings, wah, and they blow the horn. And so you could borrow that idea if you want. Knowing when to stop. People get tired in their voices and you get fatigued. And there will be a mix of opinions on that. Oh, keep going. We were in Glee Club. We love to sing. I could do this all day. Go with the majority. Yes, that's great. I'm going to go get a refreshment and you keep singing. So know when to stop so that it doesn't drive it into the ground and they're sick of that. To wrap up, given the aforementioned bonding, the mental health benefits, and the raucous good time this has, don't be surprised if they say next year, can we sing again? That's how traditions start, right? And it will be easier next year. And it will be on your invitation. Hey, bring the crudité and that keyboard and the instruments, please. I'll just wrap this up with a tiny bit of fun. I'm going to use a Vince Guaraldi version of "O Christmas Tree." Show you I know the chords. You guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'll see you again soon.